However, there is one more thing I want to do, and that is when I click the Create Board button, I want this input to be focused. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to HeadlessUI.dev and copy the Popover example. So I'll go here on the Code tab, grab the Popover element. Let me fold the classes so we can focus, and paste it here right under the Create Board button. Let's clean up pretty much everything inside it. And import the Popover components. So I'll go here, grab these, paste them in, save, refresh, and here's our Popover. Let's add some background. So I'll do BG white. Let's also style the Popover panel. I'll replace the width with width 64, 72. The transform class is no longer needed. This works as it is. And let's remove this class. And finally add some padding here. Moving on, let's also replace the Popover button classes. So I'll go here and grab the old classes, paste them in, and let's also get the plus icon and the Create Board label. Save, and here it is. Let's also use the open prop to style the active state of the Popover button. So we'll do on open, let's say BG blue 50, text blue 600. And here it is. Let's remove this, text opacity 90. And let's also add an overlay. So if I go to the documentation, we have this section adding an overlay, and we can basically grab this, go here under the button, paste it in, and let's make sure we import it. Refresh, open the Popover, and here it is. However, our cards appear on top of the overlay. To fix that, we can just add a Z10 here. So this will increase the Z index of the Popover overlay. And here it is. Let's remove the old Create Board button and move on to the form. So here we'll have a form. We'll have a label for name, and let's say your new board. We'll have an input, ID name, and let's add a placeholder, board name. We'll also have some errors. And finally, we'll have a container for our Create Board button. And here it is. Let's style this. For the label, we can do block, text SM, text gray 600, font medium. And let's also give it a margin of 1. Let's move on to the input. We'll do block with full, text SM, rounded MD, border gray 300. Let's also add a shadow. And on focus, we'll do border blue 400 and focus ring blue 400. And this looks nice. Let's move on to the errors. Here we'll just do class text SM text red 600. For the wrapper, we'll push the button to the right side using flex, justify, and let's also add a margin top of 2. For the button, we'll start with some padding. So we'll do px4, py2, text SM, font medium, text white, BG, let's say rosé 600, and on hover we'll do BG rosé 500. Let's make it rounded, add some shadow, and on focus we'll do ring 2, focus ring offset 2, and focus ring rosé, let's say 500. And let's make sure we remove the outline. So focus, outline, none. And here it is. Let's create our inertia form that we'll use to create the board. So I'll go here and say const form equals use form. I'll import this from inertia and we'll have a name. Let's go down to the form and here we'll have vModel form name. And here we'll add a vif form errors name. So if we have name errors, display them here. Okay, now on submit, we'll do prevent and call an onSubmit method. Let's add the method. I'll go here and say function onSubmit, and this will take the form and post it to, let's say, route boards store. I'll go to my web routes file to add the new route, and we'll have route post to boards, board controller, and we'll execute the store action. Let's go here and add a new method called store. Let's validate the request, so we'll do request validate, and the name will be required. Let's create the board, and we'll have the user ID, which is the currently authenticated user, and the name, which is request of name. Let's import the board class and redirect back. Now if I go in the browser, refresh, type something in, create board, and I cannot scroll down for some reason. I think that's because the authenticated layout is set to take the full screen, which means this is constrained with overflow hidden, and we can fix that by adding overflow Y auto here. Refresh, and here it is. Here's our new board. However, we have at least two problems. The first one is that after I type in a name and hit create board, the popover doesn't close, and we still have the old form value. I think we can close the popover manually. Yeah, here it is. If I scroll down, the popover panel exposes a close prop, which is a function we can call after we performed our form post request. So let's go to our popover panel, and we'll say vslot and grab the close method, which we can then pass to our onSubmit function. We'll go here and we'll accept it. And then when the form is successful, so on success, we'll call the close popover function. Let's try it out. Refresh, create a new board, and here it is. However, we still have to deal with this. So I think we can do the same thing. So when we successfully submit a form, we can reset it. Refresh again, create board, and there we go. Let's test out the error. Here it is. Let's also have a look on a bigger screen. I'll refresh, create a new board. And there we go. However, there is one more thing I want to do, and that is when I click the Create Board button, I want this input to be focused. So if we go here on the documentation, we have Focus Management. No, let's go to the Component API. And on the Popover panel, we have this focus prop we can pass. So I'll go there. And we'll say focus equals true. And if I refresh, click the Create Board button, here it is. And that was it. That's how you can create a popover form using HeadlessUI, TailwindCSS, and InertiaJS. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it, subscribe, click the bell button, all that good stuff. Bye!